Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how we can integrate one of the SDG modules in an existing Guardian policy. So let's select one of the policies to integrate our SDG modules in. So I'm going to go with VM 00044. First step is going to be adding the schemas for SDG registration and SDG's MR. So while I've already have them imported, we can simply import it using the schema files like this. They're available in the GitHub to import. Second step is going to be going at the tokens and adding the tokens that are necessary for this particular methodology. You can have either a label or asset or a claim. The documentation for these three and the differences are given in the documentation. Once these three tokens are created and the two schemas are created, we can go ahead and start integrating modules in our workflows. Here's the policy editing workflow. So we have our normal workflows approving PVPs, project pipeline, monitoring reports, then verified presentation and trust chain. Here we have already added the Vera SDG module. We are going to demonstrate by adding a module for VVB and connecting the input and output events that way. Yeah, moving on, we have the same thing for project, and we have your proponent SDG module already integrated. Now let's move on to the VVB section. So here I'm going to demonstrate how we can add a new SDG module. We have the VVB SDG lifecycle module here. It is added in the end. Let's simply rename it as VVB SDG module. It contains all the operations relevant to the lifecycle of approving an SDG registration document or a monitoring report. Now this needs 4 different variables. We need a VVB registration schema by which a project proponent can assign a VVB to a monitoring report or an SDG registration. We're going to select the VVB registration schema here. It needs an SDG registration schema which we just imported. We have SDG MR and we have a role. It also takes in the role for which all the permissions are going to be applicable. So we give the role as VVB. Now we're going to look at how do we connect the different events. So let's start with the input events here. So there's an input event that is coming from the proponent SDG module for new VVB assignment. It is already connected because we have already added these events to the SDG proponent SDG module. Then we have a new monitoring report event as well that is coming as input. Now let's add some output events. We have different output events. So once, let's say, SDG registration is approved and reassigned by VVB, it should go and update the proponent SDG module. And within proponent SDG module, we would want to connect the SDG registration approved and reassigned by VVB. And that's it. Similarly, we can add another output event. Let's take Vera SDG module as an example. So once registration is approved and reassigned, target is going to be Vera SDG module. And in there, the input event is SDG registration approved and reassigned. This is how we can connect all those events within the modules, and these are completely encapsulated. If there is a need for customization, we can double click, go deeper and check what exactly these modules are doing. So they have their own life cycle of presenting the SDG registration documents, then saving it to the database and also propagating the events to Meta topic. So yeah, that is how it works. Click save and we're good to go.